Hello, this is Angela Anderson. Thanks for joining me for this acrylic painting tutorial. In this video, we're going to be painting a penguin and her chick. It's going to be a lot of fun, I think, and I'm going to kind of play with the colors a little bit today, so I think it'll be a fun one. I've got my husband, Mark, with me.
Hey there, everybody.
He's man in chat for our live show today, so if you've got questions while I'm painting, you can ask them, and I'll try to answer. Let's get started. Alrighty, so already you can probably tell that we've got a little bit different color scheme going on here than in the photograph. We're going to be using an orange in the background of our canvas, and that's going to kind of just change the whole tone of it, give it a little bit more vibrancy. With these black and white paintings, sometimes they can be pretty flat. So I think this is going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to really pump up the blues to go along with this and have a lot of fun with the colors today. So if you were looking for an exact replica of the photo, it's probably not going to be exactly, but we're going to get close. And you could always do it black and white if you wanted to. All right, so we're going to be doing a 12 by 12 inch canvas today. This is the Fredrix Pro canvas. Here, I'll show the thing again. The Pro Series Cotton Dixie canvases. The 12 ounce is nice and thick. It's one of the thicker size canvases that you can get. Usually the cheaper ones are about 8 ounce, so that shows you the difference. These are a lot thicker, a lot more sturdy. There's gallery wrap, just means that the sides are wrapped. It's stapled on the back. There, you can see. So, and the color that I've used on here is 1 part cadmium orange and 2 parts white. And I just put a dab of orange and a little bit more of the white on here and just use a large brush. And I sprayed my canvas with water just one time just to kind of make it easy to smooth out, and just covered the whole thing with that really beautiful light orange color. This is going to give us a really great base because we're going to use like Ultramarine Blue, which is going to be this kind of this color. Oh, I don't have my colors out. Show my colors there. This color here that's got that purpley blue against this orange looks so pretty. So I think it's going to work out, hopefully, fingers crossed. I haven't painted this ahead of time, so I'm just kind of trying to figure it out. As I go, as usual, you get to see the whole process from start to finish. So sometimes it works out, and sometimes not as well as I told Mark before the show. I was like, I hope this is one where I like the results afterwards, because I am playing with the photos so much. So sometimes that can, what's in my head doesn't always go on canvas. But
well, I'm looking forward to it.
Well, yeah, hopefully it'll work out the way I'm thinking it will. All right, I'm going to be using some Stippler bristle brushes. These are the Aspen brushes from Princeton. I've got a variety of different sizes here that I'll be using for them, and I'll mention the brushes as I use them. But basically, these are like a synthetic hog bristle brush. The nice thing about these ones is that they don't get soggy in water like hog bristles do, like the natural hog bristles. When you get them wet, they just get kind of floppy. These ones will keep their firmness even in water. And then I've got a couple other brushes just for some smaller details in case we need them. So I grabbed a couple of the angle brushes from Princeton, VelvetTouch line, and a #1 round, and then their blenders, 1/4 inch and 3/8 inch blenders. Those will actually be what we'll probably use the most on some of this blending. There's only a couple areas where we're going to need some soft blending, and it's like mainly right in here and the neck of this, and then the rest of it's going to be pretty large areas that we can work on. Okay, let's go over colors. So thank you to Fredrix and Princeton. Those are our brush and canvas sponsors. They're awesome.
Yes.
They send us our materials.
And the synthetic hogs, too.
And the synthetic hogs, too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
For the synthetic hog bristles.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for creating synthetic hogs.
Yes.
Right. Check. I understand. I'm joking. You're like throwing me off my rhythm here. Carbon black, burnt umber, burnt sienna, cadmium orange. This is Indian yellow. May or may not need that one. I'm not sure, but it's just like a golden yellow. If you don't have it, use like cadmium yellow medium. This is cadmium yellow light, cobalt teal, or you could use phthalo blue as well. this is ultramarine blue, and then this is light ultramarine blue. So all this is just white plus ultramarine. It's just pre-mixed. Saves us a little bit of time because we're going to be using a lot of this color in the background. This is Dioxazine Purple and Quinacridone Magenta. And then I've got a large amount of white and a little bit of my glazing medium over here to use in case I need it. Okay, let's get going here. So I've already drawn out the penguin. I don't know if you can see that, but let me quickly go over that. Yes, sort of barely. I'm trying to think of how we want to do this. I think I'm just going to go ahead and paint around it, do the background. So let me go ahead and get my brush wet. This is a 10 Brights, just a large flat of some sort. I'm going to grab some white, and I think what I'm going to do is make this angle that we've got in our photograph, it's all snow back here. So to give us a little bit of illusion of distance, I think I'm going to do this background a little bit lighter and then do the foreground a little bit more blue. So we're going to start with mainly white. I'm going to get a little bit of my blue here. This is the light ultramarine. And I'm just going to, look how pretty that is with that orange. I'm just going to scrape it on side to side and let some of that orange kind of peek through in places. We can always go back over this as many times as we need to. So if you get this going and you're like, there's too much orange, you can always go back over it a little bit. But I'm just going to kind of gradually add more of this blue as we go down. And by the time we're at the foreground, we're going to be mostly blue. But again, it's already got white in it. It's the lightened version of the white. And also, I'm going side by side. I'm leaving little patches of this orange showing, but I'm keeping my my brush strokes pretty close together. And these areas that are kind of like water, you know, when we do ocean and we say the waves are smaller and tighter, closer together, thinner, the farther back you get, then as you get closer to the foreground, they're going to get wider and a little bit thicker and longer. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to keep these little background places kind of short and choppy back here, kind of close together. And then as we get closer, we can add a little bit of space between this and leave like bigger areas of the orange showing. But up back in here, we want to keep it pretty close together, and go ahead and go over your lines of your penguin. I might just do the whole background first and then transfer on your penguin. Draw it on or use a transfer or whatever you're going to do that. So you can see, and look how pretty that orange is. You wouldn't really think of that being a good color for the background for a white painting, but it really does add a lot of vibrancy. It's really pretty. So I think it's going to be really, I'm liking it so far, so I think it's going to work. Hopefully.
Cute. Yeah, I'm trying to throw the count off.
I haven't gotten to the cute part yet. I'm going to move my mic up.
Well, people are betting on how many cutes are going to be, so
it's going to be a lot.
Hopefully they've already counted those that we just threw out there.
We've got drinking games going on.
And I would also like to encourage people in chat not to be temperature shaming. I don't want people saying mean things like it's 80 and sunny and where they're living. So just be
Mark's
cautious.
a little bitter because he waited all week. We had really nice weather, and now it's raining this weekend. It's like that part of the road leaving our house where there's like one little bridge that's really narrow, and there's a long road, so that like usually you're not meeting anybody on the road. And every time I drive with Mark, there's somebody coming. Every time. He's like, it doesn't matter if there's no cars on the road. Every time I hit that bridge, I'm gonna have a car. Yeah. So I don't know why that made me think of it. But
last time we sat home, all week because of the snow. We didn't go out. We didn't do anywhere.
Right.
And so we finally say, okay, well, we'll go into town, see how things are. So one day out of a week, and of course, hit a car at that bridge. The only car that we see on the road is at that bridge.
And I mean, not even just like near the bridge. It's like right when you're going over it.
Right.
Like,
So you got a narrow bridge
I
and
think
you're trying
you've
to pass.
got like some sort of voodoo going on with that bridge. It's like it senses you coming and like sends cars to intercept you or something. I don't know. It's weird. So yes, it's the same way with the weather with Mark and weekends. He's got weird.
Yeah, so like I said, if it's not 40, 50, cloudy and miserable at your place, I don't want to hear it. Really. Okay. No. Keep it to yourself.
We're talking to you, Australia.
In Costa Rica and Hawaii.
Oh, that's true. That's
Yeah.
true. We have a lot of people from Hawaii. I am going around the edges there too because I had some of that orange on there. But okay. Oh, I love it. I love it. I'm really happy I did this. I talked to Mark before the show too. I was like, I'm thinking about doing something weird. I know I'm going to get a lot of comments about like, why did you choose orange? Okay, let me just say this going into this. Art, there are no rules except for what you put on yourself. So like with art, I feel like we have this fear that there's only one way of doing it. And there's a lot of people that I call them the art police that do kind of like, oh, why did you do it that way? Or why, you should have done, X, Y, Z or whatever. And I always feel like that is such a hindrance to creativity. Like, I'm doing this. I'm showing you kind of my process. It's not the only way of doing this. It's not the best way probably either. So I'm just showing you how I do it. This is how I've worked out over the years. I've been painting for 30 something years. And, this is just how I work my paintings. But it doesn't have to be the way you do it. You can create your own, methods, but mainly I'm trying to get you, to just kind of feel comfortable with the paint, learn some techniques, and then develop your own style, as you go. So, don't, just because I'm using this orange, if it really freaks you out, don't use it on yours. You don't have to. It's not going to hurt my feelings. And I won't even know about it unless you share it with me. So yeah, just I say that, I think we're going to play with the colors a little bit. We're going to use the values. And when I say values, I mean like light and dark colors. So we're going to stick with the right values. We're going to have all of our darks in the dark spots and the light colors in the light spots. But we may change the color from, a black to like a blue or something like that. That's also a dark color, same value, but just a little bit of a hint of a color instead of just the plain black and white. So that's what we're doing today. We're just going to kind of play with it. For some, it might be a good way to kind of stretch what you normally would do and try something new. It's a stretch for me because I don't normally paint in, like mess with the colors too much either. So, but I like those kind of paintings and I want to do more paintings like that. So this is my attempt to kind of push myself out of my comfort zone too. I'm always continuing to learn just alongside you guys. So
Yep.
like I said, I think this is going to work. We're just going to try it. I have confidence that we'll figure it out as we go.
You have a money back guarantee if it doesn't work out, everybody, so don't worry.
No worries.
100% refunds across the board.
Free. They get their free video.
Oh, it's free?
Yeah.
Darn it.
Okay, so now by the time we get down here, we're going to get a little bit bolder with our blue. Just make sure that you kind of are going right up to your bird, although I don't really mind if there's just a little bit of a hint of this orange around the bird too, because again, we're kind of playing with the colors a little bit, so I'm not going to hate it if we do that. This brush is doing a really good job, though, of kind of skipping around because it's kind of heavier. But see how just doing that deeper color right here, it's kind of pulling, it's drawing your eye down, and it's pulling the weight of the painting down from that distance. So giving us that illusion of depth.
Yet still breathable.
And every now and then I'm going to put a little bit of this darker blue up here too, just for a little taste of it. Up there. Still breathable, huh? Good to know.
Now, in all seriousness, are penguins are only in one pole, or are they both pole?
I think they're. I think
honestly
they're in
don't
this.
remember.
They're opposite. Okay, what are they? Aren't they south? I think they're south. I think the polar bears are north and the penguins are south. I think that's what it is.
Is that their agreement?
I think they've agreed to stay on opposite poles. But there might be some penguins in the North Pole too. I'm not sure. But I'm pretty sure it's Antarctic.
Okay, they live almost exclusively below the equator.
Yes. Oh, she was right. That was nice. I'm glad I like it when I'm right.
Some island dwellers can be found in warmer climates, but most around the icy Antarctica.
Check. Okay, so we're not going to take too much more time with this, but I hope you try this orange. I hope you like this because I really do. I think it's pretty.
Yeah, somebody said it reminds them of a creamsicle.
Oh yeah. Well, there's just something about these combination of colors together that's really, really beautiful, and it's very kind of like icy but crisp and like creamsicle. You're right. You know, it still feels cold, but it's not as barren, I guess maybe is the word. I don't know. You know, not as cold. Yeah, it's not as cold as bleak maybe. Yeah, it feels warm. It feels like there's some warmth there. You know, it's got just enough. Feels fresh. That's the word. Fresh. Okay, so going in here, and again going a little bit bigger with my areas of color. Laying my color down in a little bit wider spots, leaving bigger gaps in the orange, although I'm going to go over some of those with other colors. But I'm just going back and forth with this blue, putting some of the blue down and then grabbing some of the white and kind of blending over it so that it's got a little bit of both colors.
So it looks like South Africa and also Australia have some penguins.
Ooh, nice. I didn't know they were in Australia. That's cool.
That's according to YouTube chat.
There you go.
And also the Atlanta Zoo or Aquarium. I mean,
Yeah.
they're located there.
They are.
I have pictures that can prove it. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they naturally migrated there or not, but
Probably not.
they seem to be okay with it.
They did okay. Yeah, they're liking it. One thing I was going to say is if you do not want to deal with the feet of the birds, and sometimes people don't like doing that, you could bring your snow up and just do like a little snow bank that they're sitting on, where the snow is kind of covering their parts of their feet. So,
Or just leave them off completely.
Yeah, you could bring it down to the bottom.
Somebody's done that before.
Bottom of the canvas. What do you mean? Not on purpose. I'm like notorious for leaving the birds' feet off when I paint birds on branches and stuff. Like I have to be reminded. Oh yeah, I guess they need feet. Good idea. Good idea. Okay, so right here in the shadow area, and I'm kind of left it sort of orange for now, I'm going to add a little bit of the darker color. I'm going to add some Ultramarine Blue, and I think I'm going to make it a little bit more green by adding a little bit of that Cobalt Teal. Just to give it a different, just a little different feel, and maybe even just a tiny bit of the burnt umber. Okay, and I'm still keeping it fairly light. It's not like a super dark color. So I'm going to go ahead and use that right there. I think that'll be good. And it's right up, like right in here.
So I hope everybody's doing great today.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show. You made it to another live, or maybe recorded, depending on when you're watching this. But we thank you.
Yeah. Hope you enjoy it and subscribe and come back and join us for other live shows. We do 2 a week, at least most of the time, most of the year. 2-ish a year, yeah.
We try.
Sometimes we have other things come up on the weekends, but...
Or weather.
Yeah, weather, or during the summer months, we usually take a day off.
A quote-unquote vacation.
Yeah. Okay, getting some white here and just blending it in around the edges so that it's soft and fuzzy around the edges. The shadow's not a hard shadow, and I went just up underneath their body too. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. It's actually kind of more at an angle here, so I'm going to go a little bit more angled up. It is kind of, yeah. It's almost right across from it up in here, but then at the bottom it kind of angles up a little bit more than I have it. So I'm going to take some of that back. Okay, so there we go. We got our and even in the shadow area, there's a little bit of that snow, you're seeing the texture of the snow. So go ahead and kind of do a little bit lighter area in there too. Okay, there we go. The only thing I don't like about that is I lost all my orange because I moved it over here, so I don't have any orange left in that area, but I can always add some back if I need to. And I'm going to let this dry, and then we'll go back over it with some patches of white too in places. But I definitely like that. I definitely feel that. Hope you're getting that feel for that distance too on your screen. But it definitely has a good feeling of distance there with the dark, just by adding the darker at the bottom. All right, let's clear that off. And grab a little bit smaller brush now. This is the 8 Bright, and we'll go ahead and start filling in the large area on the mama or daddy. It could be either one. They both help raise their chicks, which I think is really cute. They're good pair parenting, teamwork. Okay, so color-wise, I'm going to go, that belly is white, but it's got a lot of yellow in it. And that's the other reason why this orange works as an undercolor for the penguin, because it's the undertone for its feathers there are very yellow anyway. So the orange and the yellow will work well together. So I'm going to grab just the tiniest little bit of yellow, cadmium yellow light here. And I'm going to fill in the mama's belly with this. And I'm streaking it in the direction that her feathers are growing, just up and down. Not side to side this way, because that would not look right. So did the ground side to side because we're seeing these planes of color, but with the mama, the motion is up and down for her feathers. And then right here at the bottom, there's a little bit more of this, a brighter yellow. So I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit of the yellow, Indian yellow hue, and do this part with that. Just right down there. And then let's go ahead and use this color since I've got it on my brush down here, because we're going to need it in the neck. Use this brighter orange yellow.
And if you stop right there, it looks like a picture of a painting, or painting of a person, with the yellow hair and the nose and the mouth, with the white.
Oh, it does. That's funny. There's the mouth, the lip, nose. Yeah.
So you just painted how I
Scary.
would paint a person.
That's scary.
Like that.
I really didn't need to know to see that. It'd give me nightmares. That's so funny. All right, I'm going to grab some of this, and I'm getting a little bit of that blue now. And I'm going to use it over here close to the wing for this side of the belly. Just give a little bit of a shadow with the blue. Just a slight color shift. I'm going to get a little bit more even. Do it a little bit more pronounced right here.
Is this your
Just
first?
real close to the orange. What?
Sorry, is this your first penguin painting?
No, we did it. We did penguins, but they were cartoon penguins for Christmas one year, a couple years
We did
ago.
them with the polar bear, right, or something like that. Yeah.
What?
Oh yeah, you did. That's right. Yeah, with the lights and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, they were decorating a Christmas tree. Yeah, it wasn't
Which happens in real life.
right. Let me get some brown here, and I'm going to do this side with a little bit of the brownish. It's going to be gray, so it's like a little bit of gray color. And this is probably too dark, but I'm going to go ahead and kind of start with that, and then we'll lighten it up with the blue here, light blue. Just need it a little bit darker than that ice that's back there. This is kind of almost too big for this area because the mama's. I'll have to probably adjust this. There's a shadow right here too, so I'm going to do this part in that with that blue. And then get some of that more yellow color and just go in with that. It's mixing with the blue, but that's okay. Just using this larger brush, and using the larger brushes also kind of helps you keep from getting too fussy, when you're trying to do these kind of more loose style paintings like we're doing here. Using the larger brush will prevent you from going into too detailed. Okay, getting the teal here, maybe a little bit of the ultramarine blue, and use that same kind of color family that I used in the shadow along this side of the penguin. And so put the color down, and then I'm just going to wipe most of it off and then just kind of blend it in. Blend back over it. The color underneath is dry. Then I'm going to grab that color that's the next color over that yellow and just blend that. And I don't have a ton of color here. I think that when people do this kind of blending, you have trouble when you go in with too much color. I think that's the key. Just keep your brush fairly light with paint. You don't need a lot. All right, let's get some of the blue. And I'm going to do the little shadow on the penguin, baby.
Yeah, I posted a picture of the puddle measuring that I did the other day in your Facebook group. So.
What? Why are you?
Well, just because you were talking about the amount of paint, and so people have said before you can't really tell on the camera how big those puddles of paint are.
Well, I don't mean how much paint is in your puddle. I mean it's how much you are loading on your brush.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. No, I think it's just, people. When you have trouble blending, a lot of times it's because you're just have too much of your color, your paint. Your paints won't blend well if there's just too much of it on the canvas. And somebody left me a comment the other day and was like, I've tried. It was like, I think the bird painting that we did for the beginner series, with the sunset, and they were like, I've tried painting it twice and I can't do it, help me. And I'm like, okay, one, I don't know what yours looks like, so I can't tell you what to do there. And two, it may take you, 6 or 7 tries to do it right. And I'm sure you didn't, if you learned to play the piano or, something like that, you wouldn't expect to do it perfectly after your 3rd try, or 2nd try. So just keep going. It is a process. You may not get it. It may not come naturally to you at first, and that's okay. Just keep on trying. That's all I can say. I don't have a magic formula. You're just going to have to practice and, work at it. All right, gonna go back up in here. Just gonna add some brighter color here. So I'm just going ahead and putting that shadow in as we go, and that'll just save us time later. We don't have to put it in later. But I think it's looking good. I'm liking it. And I'm liking these kind of more colorful options instead of just doing like gray. I really like this. I hope you do too. I keep saying it, but I know this is a departure from the norm. So if it stresses you out, just do white here and gray where I'm doing the blue. You don't have to do the blue if you don't like it. You can do your background just plain and just do it however you want. It's your painting. Again, it's no right or wrong way of doing it. This is just how I'm doing mine. I'm still, even though I'm saying this, I'm still going to get people commenting saying, why did you do this orange? I guarantee it.
Well, don't worry about it.
I know. I don't. It doesn't bother me. It just kind of...
you know it's coming.
Yeah, I know it's coming. It's just like... It just tickles me because it's just like... There's just... But, there's just so many people that I think live in kind of this restricted mindset, and I think that can really hurt your creativity if you let it,
Well, all I know is that I'm just going to say nice things to you.
Oh, good. Oh, yeah, because somebody said you were being mean to me in one of my videos.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, wow. You're one of the nicer people that I know, so we were probably having a bad day that day. I don't know.
Why are you blinking so much over there?
Exactly.
You trying to send signals?
I'm pretty sure it was the yellow chair video because I was kind of mad at you after that for teasing me. You were being pretty bully. I'm pretty sure that was the video. He was being a bully. But
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I do it to you too, so we're even. I do it to you more often. That's what cracked me up because I'm always the one that people are saying is mean to you. So I was like, yes, finally.
Aha, they see it.
Somebody noticed. Okay, went back in here and just add a little bit more yellow down there at the bottom.
I noticed he didn't say anything about the massages I give you while you're painting and stuff.
That's true. They don't see.
So,
he does do that. He comes over and massages my neck when I'm sore.
So people, there's that.
Don't be bragging on Mark. Okay, so just went a little bit brighter with the white on the belly there. I like it. I think it's turning out cute. All right, so I'm going to switch to a smaller brush because from now on I'm going to need to be able to get into smaller spaces. So let's go ahead and go with the Filbert here. This will keep our brush strokes a little bit soft still, but it'll give us a little bit more control. Just with the smaller size, it's about half the size of what I was using there. I was using the 8 bright. I don't know if I mentioned that when I switched from the 10 for the background, 8 for the middle part. And really, I probably needed to switch to something different for all of this because this was kind of tight in here trying to do the shadows and stuff. Which I may go back over that because it looks a little blotchy. Filbert from number 4 here with the Aspen. Sorry, my throat's closing up on me. And this is where we're also going to be a little bit odd. So I'm going to make some of the black areas blue and purple. And we will make them black, but I'm going to give them like a blue undertone, a little bit more blue than black. So I'm going to just add a lot of ultramarine blue here and just a tiny bit of black. I'm going to use that for the wing here. I want more blue than that. I can get more blue. There we go. There we go. It's going to look black, but it's going to be one of those things where, like, if you look at it just right, you're going to realize it's blue, And having the blue, this ultramarine blue is the same blue as the back here. They'll play off against each other, look really good together. It'll work. It'll work, I promise. Okay. So the wing is kind of in front here, and I think I'm going to do that part with the blue and then do the darker with the back part of it. Let me get a little bit of that glaze, just a little bit of water just to help this paint go on smoothly. These textured canvases can be hard to get a smooth line, but if that's the case, then you can kind of put it on like this and just kind of dab it on, and that actually gives it kind of a softer look anyways, which I do like. So you may not be able to do like a long line and have it, you know, come out without having some broken edges here, but then I'm just going to go back over this area here, take up some of this color. In fact, I think I'm going to switch to the smaller Filbert. I think I like it better because it's a little shorter. This one's getting a little floppy on me and I'm not able to really scrub like I'm wanting to. So I'm going to get this shorter, the short Filbert, and just use it along that edge and fill that in. I went over the okay, and then right about in here, it's going to start to turn yellow. So I'm going to keep the dark along the top edge here. Let's go ahead and fill in the rest of the wing. Outside my lines a little bit right there. Bring that in because this part of the body connects up right here, so there's a little bit of this dark kind of showing right underneath the wing right here, and then it continues up right there and the wing crosses in front of it. So just make sure you get this line right because this should connect up with this down here, and then this wing is in front of it. It's hard to see because it's all black, you know, so it's kind of hard to tell that there's a separation there.
So on the subject of paints, today you use the golden heavy body
Yes.
paints. And you like them because of the way they handle, basically, right?
Right.
But, you know, we always suggest people to get the best they can afford.
Right.
And I was thinking of an analogy. That's hard to say. You know, like if you're riding a bike, you can go to Walmart and you can buy a bike.
Right.
And you can ride a bike. That's great. Or you can go into these bike specialty shops and you can get like a really expensive bike.
Right.
Well, you know, it'll be easier, it'll be nicer, but it isn't going to make you win the Tour de France.
Right, right.
So even though that you have some of the higher quality paints and brushes and things like that, it's still going to take practice and things like that.
Exactly.
To hone your skills.
Yes.
So it's just like it's not like a magic wand or anything.
No, but I will say this. Better quality, especially brushes and paints and things, will make it easier to get better results. So, you know, and probably, you know, same goes with higher. There's a reason why the higher quality stuff is used by professionals, because it is easier to use, and it does give better results overall. But yes, you know, you don't have to start with those real expensive stuff. You can still paint with whatever you've got.
It's just like anything. It's an investment.
I did real dark black right there. And then right here on the wing, I added just a little bit of the light blue, just kind of along that edge of it to kind of bring it out just a little bit. I probably didn't do it quite in the right spot, I see, but I don't know. It's going to need a second coat because this went on kind of patchy for some reason. And it's not one to dry quickly, so I'm going to have to let it dry before I can do much more to it. And then let's do the face. And I challenge you to try to find a photograph that shows the eye on these. I was looking before the show because I couldn't figure out where the eye is on here, and it's I think they're just made that way. You know, they're just made to be kind of invisible. So just I wouldn't worry about figuring, you know, putting an eye in. If it really bothers you, you can put one in, but they're matte black, and they don't, it's like, I don't know, they're so deep set or something, they don't reflect light normally. It's weird.
Like that?
Yeah. I'd show that, but I don't own that photo, so I can't. Yeah. I can't.
They look pretty. Well, there's a little bit in there.
There, you can get it if it's just in the right light.
Like that there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But nobody ain't got time for that.
Well, I mean, I might use that, but my photograph, you can't see it, so. Okay, so just filling that in with black. And let's go ahead and use the blue under the chin a little bit. There's this little orange strip that's right there on the beak. Okay, and then I'm going to switch to a smaller brush because I need to have a little more control for that beak. So I'm going to get the 2-aught round. Use that for the beak. Got a bit of a curve right at the end. And then somewhere like that. underneath.
Good job.
Thank you. And I'm going to grab some of the Quinacridone Magenta and my Cadmium Orange and make a really bright reddish orange and use that in here. Grab that black and then define that a little bit better. Just going around. And then I think I'm going to use a little bit of the white with the orange. Right at the very top of it. Maybe mix a little bit of that orange that we did here and just go right at the top of that and kind of go back into that black. Oop, picked up a little bit of black there. There we go. And I'll probably do just a little bit more of that bright orange. Okay. And there was kind of like just the slightest little hint of an eye, so I'm going to go ahead and make a very, very dark gray here. And right where this curves up, there's just like a little area there, so we can just kind of do like that. Just a slight little bit. And then let's go ahead and use that color on the top of the beak too. Just getting this blue gray that, and this is really Payne's gray if you have it. Ultramarine blue and black is Payne's gray. It's a premix color. And I'm just adding some white here. And I'm just gonna go along the top of the beak just a little bit. Just slightly. And I might even go underneath the chin just slightly. Blur that out a little bit. Okay. I think I got that in the right place, hopefully. All right, so then I'm gonna get this one. This is the blender, the 3/8 inch Willows blender. So I'm just kind of working my way down smaller and smaller here. And I'm gonna use the Indian yellow hue, a little bit of the orange. And going right in here where that's really bright. Ideally, my black should be dry here. I don't know if it is. I'm going to put that in there. And then wipe that out and get my yellow. And I'm not even going to blend those two together. I'm just going to do it on the canvas. We'll blend them on the canvas. So lay out a pretty good amount of that yellow there. Kind of went on a little bit wetter than I wanted it to, but it's working. And just kind of blend those together there. And I can always grab some of that orange and go back over. Pull it out into that yellow. Okay. This is the cadmium yellow light. The cadmium yellow light has just a lot more vibrancy to it than the cadmium medium. My cadmium medium is more orange. This one is much more of a bright, almost green yellow, almost greenish undertones. How pretty that is. And if you go over your black, that's okay. We can blend that in later. Go a bit lighter right under at the top of the neck there, right before the blue shadow. And then right in here, there's a little bit darker area. So I'm going to grab some of this gray that we were using before and just mix that with the orange and yellow. And I think I'm going to use this under the neck too, just a little bit. We'll wipe that out. Get some of my yellow. And just blend over it, blend it out. Okay. I'm going to get a little bit more of the orange color. It's kind of orangish. There's just an area of kind of dark right here where that neck crease is. Okay, and then let's get the white. And it's going to blend with the yellow and things here. So even though I'm just using white, I kind of mixed it a little bit with that yellow, but it's mostly just white because I still have some of these colors on my brush, so it's going to be picking up the colors from my brush and things. Just want to kind of blend it down in here, so get a color that's as close as it can get. Might add just a little bit of that blue to it for right in here. And just kind of smush everything out, make sure I've got a nice blend. Nice transition there. I definitely need to go darker on this shadow here, but let's go ahead and work on this up here. So I'm going to go ahead and use this blue black color here with the Ultramarine Blue. I'm going to go a little bit more of the blue, maybe even a little bit of the teal, and use it right in here. And if you see on some of the photographs, they do have like this little blue patch right here. So it's actually on the, I'm not making this up this time. Blue. Okay, and then get my white. Just be real careful because you've got a very small area here where you're blending blue to yellow. So I want to make sure that I give myself room here to blend them. So put the color down fairly thick there with the blue, and then I'm just going to start underneath it. I'm not starting right on the line that I want to blend. I'm starting over here and then blending up into that line. So starting down here and blending up. That blue is still wet, so this is picking up a little bit of that color. See, if I pull it this way, I'm going to pull the blue down, which I don't really want to do. I want to push the yellow up, so I'm going to make sure my brush strokes are going upward. And then I'm going to get more of this brighter yellow right here in my white, which was kind of that color that we used right there. And mix it quickly. Maybe have it ready before you do this, so you don't have to mix it at all. It's just there ready to go, and then blend those two together. Make sure that this is dry before you do this, though. That'll help you not get that blue down into your orange.
What is a good substitute for Indian yellow?
You can use the cadmium yellow medium or something like that. It's just an orangey yellow, so you just probably use a little bit more orange than the yellow. I like it. Okay, getting the black now. I'm going to go back over this and just gonna, and by using this kind of fuzzier brush, it'll give me a little bit softer line. I just like that kind of, it looks like somewhat blended. I don't know, just looks a little softer. Okay, let's get a little bit of this lighter blue here. I'm going to do a little bit right there on the wing. I'm going to get that blue, the ultramarine blue, blend in over it. I'm just giving this wing a second coat here because it's kind of went on a little bit blotchy. Ultramarine blue will do that because it's transparent, so it doesn't want to cover very well. So you may need 2 coats on this. And I'm going to get the black. Put that in down there. And then I'm going to get some of this gray and just hit the front of this wing right here with a little bit of that gray. Just a little bit of light hitting it. It's very subtle. I'm going to do the bottom of it too. There we go. I'm just going to tap in right here. And get that darker black here. And make sure that this is also covered. Really dark black right here, this area right here. It's really important. Do this really black line all the way down right there. And then we can blend out that blue just a little bit right there. Pretty. Okay. going to put a little bit more of the black on the wing here. There we go. All right, and then let's do our baby. So we'll switch to another smaller brush. So now I'm going to do the 1/4 inch blender. And let's start with the baby's face here. We're making good time. We're only an hour in.
Because I'm so efficient over here.
I love these colors. I don't know about you. I am loving these colors. This is so pretty. So much prettier than black and white and gray. Yeah. Well, the Emperor Penguin's got, you know, it's got a personality. It's colorful, you know. So, might as well make it a star. All right, I'm letting the outside of the chick be fluffy. So I'm tapping, stippling in this black so that he's fluffy. He's so fluffy. What's that from? Madagascar, maybe?
Nope.
Nemo?
Nope.
What's it from?
Despicable Me.
Ah.
He's so fluffy.
He's so fluffy. I brought that black down too far on his neck there. All right, and I'm going to get the white now.
Okay, so can somebody explain to me why the heck that trivia is stuck in my brain, but more important things I can't remember? Anybody?
Because you remember things that give you strong feelings. So you probably thought it was really funny and, you know, had a good endorphin rush and it stuck it in your brain.
So is that why we can't remember our kids' names?
No comment.
We always say the dog's name
Call
first.
him the dog name. That's even worse. Yeah.
So this is your stippler. No, this is your
Blender.
blender.
Yes.
1/4 inch is what you said?
1/4 inch.
Yep.
And I've got 3 colors of gray here, like black, medium, and I'm not even doing anything special with this gray. I'm just using black and white.
Do you need
And I
me?
might add a little bit of blue to it, but I think it's good to having him be just a little bit different tone than everything else. So, what we think? Do
I may need to use my micrometer to measure that just to be sure.
No.
Yeah, I'll be right there in a sec. Hold on. No. You are no fun.
Okay, so I want him to be darker than the mama right here. Mama coming down, so I'm going to go a little bit darker, just right here. I love his little arms sticking out like this. It's like, I can fly, Mama. See, I can do it.
I saw a fish and it was this big.
Yeah, add your own captions to comments. I'd like to see what you guys come up with. Missed a little bit of the mama belly there. All right. Get some white here. This back side is going to be more white-ish. I still have these other colors on my brush, so it's not pure white. And then there's a little bit darker gray back here. Behind the wing. And then just kind of blend it into the blend between that light and dark. Just get a kind of a medium color and just kind of blend out. And the nice thing is you can just kind of scrub like I'm doing, just kind of scumble in this to create that fluff. This brush makes it super easy to do this. Get a little bit darker gray here, and there's like an area down in here that's going to be really dark. So put on the darker color kind of where you want it darkest. And then once you kind of run out of that dark color, then you can kind of go in and blend it out into your lighter colors that are still wet. Which my colors are starting to dry, so it's not really. I'm gonna get the black hair. I need to do the mama's feet here. And there's literally no detail to the feet in my photograph, so I'm just going to kind of put them in here as black. And add a little bit of the lighter gray on top and call it good. There is some of her fur coming down over this too, so I'll have to do that. Fur. Feathers right here. Let's go ahead and do the feet. Nice and dark around the feet. Love that scratching sound. If you don't love it, then this technique might be torture, but it's actually pretty. It's like you can hear the paint being put on the canvas. Just scratching it in there. And I am leaving just a little bit of that orange showing through here and there, so I think that's important. Even on the mom, there's slight areas. I don't know. Once you zoom in real quick here, and I'm going to show what I'm talking about. So we've got.
Fall for it again.
See how you can see that orange right here. You can see it around, you know, obviously in here a lot. But even on the baby penguin, I'm leaving just little bits. And that's what causes it to, the painting to have that kind of glow, that feeling of glowing, that orange underneath all of this. Even in there, you can see it right there. It peeks through everything and just adds that vibrancy to all the colors. So, okay, now you can zoom back out. Just use small brush strokes too. Don't try to cover too much too quickly, because his little feathers are very little bits, short little fluff. The little area right here that's got a little brightness.
Somebody asked if all those brushes are doing okay in the water.
Oh, thank you. I'm gonna dip. Actually, speaking of brushes, I'm gonna dip them all in the water.
Plus 5 points to Primrose.
To who?
Primrose.
Thank you, Primrose. My brushes, thank you too. What happens if you leave them in water is that the water seeps all the way down through this metal, and this is wood right here. The wood comes up to about right here, maybe a little higher. And so that water just wicks right up into the wood, and once it gets to that wood, the wood starts to expand and it cracks the paint that's in your handle. So you don't want that to happen.
Because
I've done that.
then you get a bunch of questions about what's on your paintbrush.
Why my paintbrushes have... Well, this is what they look like once that happens. And then I usually tape them because I don't like the feeling of this. It bothers me. And plus it flakes off as you paint. You know, it'll flake off and stuff. So some worse, like cheaper brushes, this will actually fall apart. This wood part will come off. Yeah. Good brushes, it won't do that. It'll just crack the paint. But bad brushes will actually kind of come unglued. Or cheaper brushes, I should say. Not necessarily bad brushes, but... Fun, fun, fun. He's coming along. Just take your time.
So while you're doing that there, I'm going to just remind everybody about patreon.com.
Well, yeah.
Over there.
You sound like an infomercial.
It is the end of the month of February, so I would, if I were you, I would wait, if you're not already a member, wait until the first of the month.
Right.
But if you're watching this recorded, then you're going to have to figure it out on your own, because I have no clue. Mm-hmm. But anyways, traceables, bonus videos, extra content, all that stuff is available. So go over there and check it out. Patreon.com/AngelaFineArt. Back to you.
So, you really do have a telemarketer voice, or whatever the infomercial voice. Back to you. Newscast. You could have been a newscaster. Who knows? Weather with Mark at 5 and 10. Would you have been sports? You wouldn't have been sports. You wouldn't. You'd have
I
been,
would have been.
You'd have been the regular newscast.
Yeah,
you'd be like
tank reporting.
You'd be a
This Week in Tanks.
That's good. You might have to do a YouTube channel with that. You never know. See, YouTube is perfect for anybody who ever wanted to do that but just didn't want to go to college for it. Then you just start a channel.
Yeah, like last night, Angela's sitting there going, I really wish I knew how to do so-and-so, such and such. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, I wish there was some kind of like a video platform that would, show you how to do things.
Just about anything you want to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, we're obviously, we're very familiar with YouTube and its benefits and all that stuff. But it's amazing still, when I talk to people at work and stuff like that, I'm like, well, have you checked YouTube? Mm-hmm. To find out about that. And they look at me. It's like, it's more than just, silly people doing silly things and cat videos. It's,
right.
There's real content out there.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of amazing channels out there that...
I mean, heck, you can even learn how to paint there.
Exactly. Who knew? Okay, so doing like a darker gray underneath the little armpits there. And the shadow of the wing. cute. Let's do a little bit on this one. He's got this little haunch right here and this little hip that I wanted to get to. So his little comes down, but then he kind of has this little leg haunch that comes out just slightly more. I went ahead and put in some dark black little bits because I wanted some shadow and deeper in his feathers. So I'm just going to kind of blend through it to cover the seam there. Okay. He's so cute. I want to give him just a little bit of yellow. I'm gonna get a little bit of this yellow and white here. And it's just a little bit of yellow at the top of his wings there.
So some lady who lives in the land of yummy fish, birthday is on Monday.
Really? Oh, happy birthday, Mona. That's awesome.
Congratulations on being born. You did it.
My birthday's coming up this month, coming up in March.
Yes.
What are you getting me?
Well, somebody said at the beginning of this video that the male emperor penguin during the courting will give the female a rock. And so I'm thinking that would be a good tradition to start.
Give me a rock.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'll go around and try to find you a nice one.
Give me a nice rock. I like it. Oh, I forgot to tell on you. He was waiting for you. Knew it was coming. We listen to music before the shows, so and sing badly and just kind of
just have fun.
Gear up. Yeah.
Get in a good mood.
Get in a good mood, exactly. Get in the right mind frame for filming. And so today, Lady Gaga's Bad Romance came on. Mark Anderson knows all the words to that song. I mean, all the words. I was shocked.
And you
I
can
did
sing
not
it like
ever
a
know.
rock
We've
star.
been married how many years? And I did not know that about you.
Coming up on 33.
He's a closet Lady Gaga fan.
And I sound just like her. If you turn the volume up loud enough.
I mean, all the words.
Ra, ra, ooh la la.
Oh my God. It was hilarious. Like, how is that? How have I never been in the same room with that song and you before? Oh my gosh. And where did you learn it? That's what I want to know. You just listening in your car?
Have you seen me do the choreography?
Oh my gosh. I love it. I am trying to get this little patch here. It is not wanting to It's wanting to go on gray.
Again, that's taking up space in my brain.
Exactly.
The space where I should be remembering what flowers you like. It's filled with that.
Filled with Lady Gaga's Bad Romance lyrics.
Yep.
Got it. Got it. Well, it was almost worth it.
I do drive about an hour and a half each way, so about 3 hours a day for work. So there's a lot of radio time.
Love it.
I haven't been invited to that carpool karaoke guy. I don't know why.
Yeah. No comment.
Somebody's hoping that I don't have a suitcase of Gaga outfits.
We'd have to have a talk.
Is she the one that had like the meat
dress?
Meat dress, yeah. So maybe. I mean, it's meat is good.
I don't think that's what she was trying to say with that dress.
Oh, okay.
I don't think she was saying I'm a fan of meat. I could be wrong. I have to say though, I watched her documentary a couple of years ago when it came out on Netflix, and it gave me a whole different perspective on her.
Well, when you watch those kind of documentaries of people, I mean, there was the recent one with Britney Spears and Billie Eilish just came out with one
this weekend, yeah.
and you see behind the scenes, and these are just normal people under very unnormal circumstances,
Exactly.
and how they're trying to navigate
extremely pressured,
right, and deal with just. I mean, we see
right
it a little bit.
Right.
Maybe like 1% of what they see.
Exactly.
And so I can't even imagine
I know
what they deal with.
I would not want that ever. And to have to deal with it so young too, I mean, we've got the benefit of years of, experience and friendships and, things to fall back on. But when you're that young and you have that much success and everything. I'm not that I feel sorry for them, but I can feel for, and you just see, like you said, they become like a real person to you. You realize, they have the same issues as everybody else, except for they're having to deal with it in the middle of the public eye. It's like how lonely that is. Okay, just adding that shadow back in there, a little bit darker there. Kind of faded out the shadow on the baby a little bit more too. Probably could go a little bit darker with this, but I honestly don't. I don't want the shadow to be the star of the show, so I just want it to be kind of subtle. So I'm going to kind of leave it a little bit softer maybe then. And I'm blurring out the edge just a little bit right there. Getting a cloth here, just damp cloth, and kind of blurring that out. There we go. Okay. But yeah, so now we get one of the things that I saw Billie Eilish's mom saying, was like, when you get to a certain level, then the more people like you, the more people don't like you or something. And I thought that was interesting. It's very true. The more exposure you get, the more opportunity for people to be unkind just as much as they are kind. Yeah. And that's my, my philosophy just in general is just like, if you don't like somebody, you don't have to let them know. Like, what good does that put into the world? when you tear somebody else down like that, you know? So, you know, I don't know. I never leave negative comments ever to people. I mean, unless I've bought something and they've, you know, ripped me off or something like that. But if it's just a matter of opinion where you just don't like somebody's music or you don't really love their video or, you know, somebody doesn't like the way I paint, I mean,
just move on.
Move on. Keep it to yourself. You don't have to try to tear somebody else down. That's not right. It's just the whole mentality of the internet right now can be a really awful place sometimes. And fortunately, we don't get too much of that. Like Mark was saying, we get like 1% of it. But, I mean, sometimes there's just really a lot of negativity out there that people try to spew.
Now, I didn't watch the whole video. I went to bed. Mm-hmm. But my favorite part of it that I saw was the dad in the background walking around picking up the dog poo off the yard while they were filming something.
Yeah.
It was great.
It was great.
Such a normal family.
They were practicing her first
music video.
She was
showing how they're going to set up the shot.
Yeah, she was showing her mom. She was posing her mom with the cup, and dad's in the background picking up dog poo. It was great. It's hilarious. I'm going to move this up a little bit, make sure that it matches this angle here. I feel like this is not matching this a little bit. So, yeah, I don't know. All that, we're just kind of getting off topic here, but...
Back to the painting.
Back to painting. Okay, I'm just using that light gray, light blue gray. I'm going to bring this up, the curve right here of the wing up, and then I'm going to try to match it right here. Okay. And then just use the cloth and kind of wipe around it to soften up the edges a little bit. And I'm going to try to, I don't know what color I have on this mom here. I think it's this kind of turquoisey color that had a little bit of the cobalt teal in it down here. I'm going to use that and try to, yeah, there we go. Just try to bring that wing up just a little bit, that shadow of the wing right there. Just slightly. There you go. Kind of just do it everywhere, then just becomes another new layer there. So I'm going to get my white. I'm just going to go over all of it with a little bit of white.
Yeah, we were watching that zoo show the other day, and I forget what the name of that bird was, but it had such a weird sounding call to it. Remember?
Oh yeah, I don't remember. It was a weird bird. I'd never seen it before, and so I wouldn't remember the name.
It's on some tropic island, and it lays its eggs in the sand like the turtles. Like when the turtles come on land and lay eggs, I think it comes out of the forest and lays eggs on the beach also.
Yeah.
Anyways, and I told Angela, I said, can you imagine being the first person to hear that?
Out in the wild.
Right. And, imagine being the first person to see
a penguin.
Like an emperor penguin, just the color and the beauty of it is
would
just
have been amazing.
Something else.
All right. I am mixing this orange, yellow, that was kind of these two colors, the two yellows, and a little bit of white here, and I'm going to go over the feet with it. Do a little fur over the feet and just into the snow a little bit. Okay. I'm going to get a little bit of my gray, if I can get some that's not dried out. I'm going to scrape my palette so I've got some clean spot to work to. I've got a lot of dried paint out here. Don't try to mix over the top of dried paint, because what will happen is the dry part underneath will chip off and you'll get little flecks of paint through it. You don't want that, trust me. Been there, done that. Then you'll be pulling out little bits of paint out of your painting. Okay. Clean palette. There we go. We're almost done. We're getting real close here. Just kind of going slowly, working my way down here. Let's go ahead and do the tail too. I'm gonna get the black here. No, I guess that one. Yeah, I guess it goes like this. Kind of just
It got so quiet.
a little fuzz out the side there. A bit of dark underneath the body there. And then let's go ahead and do the feet now that I have this smaller brush here. Get some white in my black.
How many feet you meet?
Oh my gosh, I have not sang. I must have, that was Nathan's favorite song, Dr. Seuss book. Mm-hmm. I must have read that a bazillion times to him.
1 foot.
And it's funny, like, because you remember it, but they don't.
Right.
He doesn't remember that at all. He was too little. You know, I'm sure if I said the foot book, he'd be like, what?
Mm-hmm.
And like, you made me right.
You don't remember 1 foot, 2 foot?
So many times.
Red foot, blue foot? No, I do. Appreciate it.
I spent about 20,000 hours out of my 20-year-old and 22-year-old life reading that to you. From 21 to 25, I probably read it approximately.
That was the extent of your reading?
Once a day. Yeah, exactly. That was my extent of my reading, was Dr. Seuss and Green Eggs and Ham. Mm-hmm. And I definitely had my favorites, too. There was one book that Spencer wanted me to read. It was like the Mike Mulligan steam engine or something, steam shovel. And he would always have me read that. And I'd try to steer him to other books, because it just took forever to get through it. And it was like, sorry, Mike, but I mean, it was a fine book, but it didn't rhyme. I liked the rhyming books because it just was more fun to read. You know, it was so mindless. Okay. Just switch. I don't know why. I'm getting distracted here.
Mine
I'm just
was
talking about
no luck.
Still stuck. Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
Please, can somebody help us, please?
All right, and so I went a little bit more closer to black on the actual nails, and then I'm gonna just use the white here with the light gray, and just gonna put a little highlight on some of them. That's pretty much all you're seeing. You're not really seeing a lot of detail on these feet, so just kind of like that. Nothing major. I'm gonna maybe do a little highlight over the top where the
Is that rain? Oh, Spencer's not out, is it?
Oh yeah, they weren't walking. Uh-oh. Spencer and Fitzpickle are out there raining. Are they out in the rain? I think they went to Bonadia.
Yeah.
Probably in the middle of it. Fitzpickle probably is in love. He loves the rain. He doesn't care. This is awesome. I hope Spencer wore the right jacket. Did he say he's out in it?
I don't know. I just know his car's not there.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, just check the camera. The car's not there.
Our son Spencer is 19. He takes the dog. He's kind of our dog walker, dog watcher. We basically bribed him and was like, hey, if you won't work outside the home until COVID's over, we'll pay you to watch the dogs during the show. So that's our...
It's a win-win.
It's a win-win, exactly. And Fitzpickle loves him. They get along so cute. All right, almost done here. Just doing this darker gray down here. Getting my white. And just continuing the white to light white gray, light gray down along the outside. Wipe this off, get more of that white. Look at, I started with my white out to here, and look at how much I have left. I did good though. I think I may have to put a little bit more out, but I judged pretty good. Just gonna fuzz out that outer edge there. Tap along that outer edge because he's fuzzy. Do the same thing on that side. Make sure he's fuzzy. Try and go a little bit brighter white right here where the wing attaches, right there. And then just kind of go back over it. Just a matter of going back and forth till you get the right kind of fuzzy, right amount of fuzzy. And it's up to you where you stop. So, you know. I'm going to set the brush down and kind of flick it upward to get just a little bit heavier coverage there. Just a couple of places. I love his little airplane pose, it's so cute. That's flying. A little bit darker there just so that I can see the edge, the tip of it. I'm going to do the same thing here, just going to go a little bit, round out that edge, the tip of it a little bit. Okay, do his little face. Got his body done. I'm gonna add just a little bit of this gray to the mama penguin on her bottom down here. It feels like it's just too bright down there, so I'm gonna get a little bit of that blue that we were using and add some gray to it. And do it down here. Because it's not that bright. I've had too much yellow. There's only a little bit of yellow there, and it's actually kind of muted yellow, so I'm going to get a little bit of the yellow and add that gray to it. Dirty it up a little bit. Not as bright as that. There we go. That's better. A little more shaded. Getting the white here. And this is kind of where that pouch, their egg pouch, you know, is. So it's kind of fluffy right here. It's like a little fold almost in there. Come out with that just a little bit. They tuck that egg right up under their feet, and then that little bit of this extra fluff drops right over it. And then they stand in a huddle in the middle of the Arctic. It's like amazing that they even survive in those conditions. It's crazy. All right, I want to make this wing shadow a little bit brighter too. So I'm going to get a little bit of that Ultramarine Blue and Cobalt Teal. And I kind of had it a little bit, but I want to make it a little bit more obvious. I'm going to use the glaze. Maybe a little bit of this light gray here that we used before. I'm gonna just go right along this edge here. If I did it right, it's gonna be like this blue color that we used along here. Yeah, it's pretty close. Just continue it up here a little bit. Right up next to that wing. And down the body a little bit. Okay, there we go. Give this gray a second coat there. Two hours. All right, let's get this face done. Getting my black. They got this little hook to the beak right here that makes it look like they're smiling. Curves up right here, and then it kind of goes like a triangle, like a diamond shape almost. Curves down a little bit at the tip. Gonna use the gray. This one has a little bit of the blue in it, but use that at the very tip and underneath, and then just do kind of a little bit of a seam there. You can zoom in a little bit more if you want. And then I'm going to get a little bit black. Seam there. And then a little bit more of my white, which I need more white. And do just a little bit of a brighter highlight right there. So just a very little tip is kind of highlighted. Didn't end up using my purple at all. I thought I might, but I didn't end up using it, so that's all right. Get a little bit of this gray that we've been using, add it to the white. And just use it around the face here. Bottom. Up right there. That's a little smile right there. I'm not making it up. It's there. So I think that's why they're so stinking cute. As opposed to the, if the fluffiness wasn't enough, that little smirky smirk right there does it. So the white comes down off the face right here and does this Why is it so wet? It does this little quirk right there. And then the eyes kind of got that almond shape to it. Make it a little bit bigger. That dark black right here, just under the chin. And then you can fluff out the edges there if you want to with the black. Just kind of go over the white just a little bit, soften up the transition between the white and the black, which it doesn't need much. I'm going to get a little bit of a dark gray. And just do a little bit right here. Wet that out, and then just use the brush to smush it around, get more of the white. Come back over. And then I'm going to use a little bit of that gray too, right here. And a little bit under the chin. Just like a little bit darker gray under the chin right there. Okay. A little bit of a shadow. And then get my white. Just make sure everything is bright where I want it to be bright. Kind of up above the eye, mainly. You can add a little bit of yellow to this too if you want. I see just a slight bit of yellow to it. But I'm seeing some of the orange through this, so it's kind of adding that glow that I want. And really, he's probably lighter than he needs to be in his face. Now that I'm looking at the mom, she probably should be closer to her tone, so I'm going to add just a little bit of the yellow to this. It's probably a little bit bright. There we go. Gonna add this light yellow-ish color to the top of the wing here. And a little bit on this wing here. We kind of already did this, but I need to do it again because I kind of covered up what I had done with other colors. So. And this brush I can just tap to get that stippling that I was getting from before. Okay. Getting that light gray. Some of the medium gray. All right, go ahead and zoom out. Let's see what we got here. I'm gonna add some. I've done this already, but I kind of painted over them again, so I need a couple of little, like really dark black areas in his little fur right there. So. And rub over them. Blend them in a little bit if needed. Oh, he's so cute. Super cute. Okay, let's see. I'm going to get this brush. This is the 2 round. And a little bit of this black and a little bit of this blue. This has got the teal, which I think was kind of what we used for this shadow here. Yeah. And I'm going to use a little bit more of that darker black color just right here. It's just a little bit darker than I have it. Just right by the tail there when it first comes out. And then go along, make sure that the underneath the baby here has got kind of a dark shadow. We already kind of put it in, but just making sure that I smudge that line out. Good. Now, I was going to go back in and do more white, but I'm not going to do that much because I think it looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a little bit of white, but I think I might add a little bit of the yellow to it so that it's kind of this white from the penguin. It's got a little bit of that warmer, light glow. Let's see. Yeah, I think that white, doing it that way is going to really stand out a little bit more. Let me wipe most of that off because I have too much in my brush there, but yeah, so it's just adding a little bit of a glow on the snow. Glow on the snow. Get a little bit of that ultramarine, light ultramarine. And I'm going to go around the baby's wing here because it's pretty, got a pretty big area of orange that's just bare right there. What you think, hon?
I think it's pretty darn cool.
Did I miss anything?
No, I don't think so. Doesn't look it.
Good.
I mean, there's just 2 penguins there, right?
Well, I know, but I'm just making sure that sometimes when I get in the middle of it, I miss things. Well, see, I'm seeing a highlight right here that I miss. So I'm going to do that. There's a little bit of a highlight right there. Right underneath that shadow. And I'm going to use just the bright white on some of this snow too. And to do the snow, I'm just kind of laying my brush almost flat and dragging it. Creates that kind of crumpled, crinkled up texture that you're getting with the snow. This is pretty much dry brushing. My brush is fairly dry, and I'm mostly going to do this just right here in the foreground where I want more of a high contrast between the dark and the light. That'll also pull the tension down. We got areas of high contrast. And up here it's more muted and closer in value, and down here we got a lot more difference in the value. That also draws the eye down visually. And I'm just kind of doing these like horizontal planes almost of, you can see in the photograph where, you just see these kind of patches of light catching on this uneven ice, snowy ground. Pretty happy with it. I like how it turned out.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of what I had in mind, so I'm glad it worked with the orange. Never know. And if you wanted to, there's like these darker patches, in the picture. You could do that too. But I think we get the idea with the blue. I don't think we're going to have to do that, but you totally could if you wanted to. So you could do like brownish green or something. Do some little patches of earth. But I'm going to go around the penguin here just a little bit and tap in next to that blue. I just had like a weird halo of orange around it where it hadn't fully filled in that area. Let's go ahead and grab the black. I'm just going to go over this line. All right, I think we're done. What do you think?
We're pretty close.
Yeah, I think so. I'm going to sign it.
Well, all right then.
Some sriracha.
This just in, literally just in.
Oh, wow.
It's from Kay. And they say, thank you for all the time you... hold on, my glasses don't work that level up. Thank you for all the time you share, inspiring the artist in me, and the joy and humor and you and Mark infect my day with.
Oh,
Oh, thank you so much, Kay.
that's awesome.
That is super sweet. But seriously, if you can figure out why I got Lady Gaga lyrics in my head. Hey, show them the bonus video stuff there over there too.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
This is kind of a sample of what you get over there on
That's
Patreon.
the Patreon. So that was the bonus video for the $5 level. And then this one was for the $10 level. This one took a long time. That was 3.5 hours to finish the vase of flowers just for that part. And then another 2.5 for the lace curtains and another 1.5 hours for the window part and drawing it out. So there was 3 different sessions that we finished it. Nice thing about the Thursday or the $10 level is we paint on Thursdays. So I just take as much time as I want to on Thursdays, and we work on it all month long and get it done usually in 1 month. So, but yeah, that one turned out really fun. I like that one. And then this one was our bonus video, like Mark said, for the $5 level. Next month we're painting. We've got our March schedule out, so you should, if you go to any of my social media links down in the description, there should be a schedule at the very top of the page. So on my Facebook page, on my Instagram, we just posted that. So yeah, thankfulart.com, you can go down there and sign up for our newsletter, and we send that out once a week, and it has the schedule as well. So you get like free goodies and things in there. Last week we sent out a color chart thing, so nice. Plus it lets you know what we're working on and shows you pictures of the finished product, so get a little extra stuff that way. But yeah, so anyhow, I love this.
Yeah, that came out super.
I really love the orange. I think it made a big difference. Big difference. Very happy that I did that.
It kind of gives it that sunset, sunrise kind of feel to it.
Yeah, it's just
nice,
fresher.
warmth.
It's got a freshness to it. I really like, and I like with the blue. So I like that we didn't do it just gray. I think the blue and the orange really added to it. So hope you guys liked it too. Let me know in the comments if you did, and what you'd like to see in April. Maybe, I don't know. I always like to get ideas of what people want to see painted, and we're going to be doing we are going to be painting on Tuesday. We thought we were going to not be where we thought we were going to be out of town, but we're not, so we are painting on Tuesday. We're going to be doing, what are we doing? I don't know what our first thing in March is. Oh, a door, rustic door. So if you click on my name, it'll take you to my my channel homepage, and you can see the schedule for March, or at least the YouTube ones, and then the other schedule shows the Patreon stuff as well. So
subscribe, like, thumbs up,
all that good stuff. All right, thanks guys so much. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we will see you next time. Bye.